Rejected? It's just the beginning. I've been there, and I know you have too. Today, I'm sharing a powerful speech by Keanu Reeves, a message that transformed my view on setbacks and will inspire you to see rejection as a stepping stone. Stick around. This could be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Rejection is an unavoidable part of life, something every one of us will face at some point. Whether in relationships, careers, friendships, or personal aspirations, rejection finds its way into our journey. And when it happens, it often stings. It can make us doubt ourselves, question our worth, and feel like we are not good enough. But the truth about rejection is far from what our emotions initially tell us. Not every rejection means you are not good enough. Not every no is a statement about your abilities, potential, or character. Sometimes, rejection is just a matter of preference, timing, or circumstances that are completely beyond your control. If someone rejects you, it does not necessarily mean you lack value. It simply means that their perspective, needs, or priorities do not align with what you offer. When you truly understand this, rejection loses its power to define you. It becomes nothing more than a decision someone else has made based on their own perspective, rather than an absolute verdict about your worth. But how do you deal with rejection when it happens? How do you stop it from breaking you down or making you feel inadequate? The first step is to stop seeking approval from those who do not value you. Too often, we give too much weight to the opinions of people who do not see us for who we truly are. We chase validation from those who are unwilling or unable to appreciate our uniqueness. When we tie our self-worth to whether or not someone accepts us, we give them the power to control how we feel about ourselves. But the reality is, you do not need everyone's approval to be valuable. You do not need every opportunity to go your way to be successful. The right opportunities, the right people, and the right situations will align with you when the time is right. And sometimes, a rejection is simply a way of clearing the path for something better. Rejection, if you look at it through the right lens, is not a door shutting you out. It is a redirection. It is a moment that forces you to reflect, refine, and sometimes even reinvent yourself. Instead of taking rejection personally, see it as an opportunity to grow. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Is there something I can improve? Or maybe, is this a sign that I was chasing something that was not truly meant for me? Every successful person, every influential leader, every artist, entrepreneur, or creator who has ever achieved greatness has faced rejection at some point. What separates those who rise from those who give up is how they choose to respond to it. Those who allow rejection to define them will shrink. Those who use it as a lesson, as motivation, as fuel, will thrive. Most importantly, no one can truly hurt you if you have a deep understanding of your own worth. When you know who you are, when you recognize your strengths, your talents, and your value, rejection becomes nothing more than background noise. It no longer holds the power to make you feel small because you understand that your value is not determined by whether someone says yes to you. Your worth is not something that fluctuates based on external approval. It is something inherent within you, something that remains constant regardless of how others perceive you. So, the next time you face rejection, do not let it shake your confidence. Do not beg for validation. Do not dwell on it as if it is the end of your journey. Instead, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward with an even stronger sense of purpose. Life has a way of filtering out what is not meant for you and guiding you toward what is. Trust that process. Trust yourself. Keep growing, keep improving, and never let a rejection make you forget just how valuable you truly are. Love is one of the most beautiful experiences in life, but it is also one of the most complex and unpredictable. We grow up believing that if we love someone deeply enough, if we give them our best, if we stay by their side no matter what, they will eventually love us in return. But the truth is, love does not work that way. Love cannot be forced, no matter how much you give, how patient you are, or how deeply you care. No one is obligated to love you, not even the people you love with all your heart. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, but it is also one of the most liberating. The idea that love should be mutual, that effort should be reciprocated, is something we all long for, but reality does not always align with our desires. If someone doesn't love you, no amount of effort, kindness, or sacrifice can change that. You cannot convince someone to feel something they do not, just as you cannot force your heart to stop loving someone when it still does. The sooner you accept this truth, the sooner you free yourself from the pain of chasing something that is not meant for you. Recognizing when a relationship is no longer worth holding on to is essential for your well-being. Love should not feel like a battle where you are the only one fighting to keep the connection alive. If you are always the one trying to make things work, always the one reaching out, always the one adjusting, compromising, and giving without receiving the same in return, then you need to step back and ask yourself, is this really love, or is it just fear of letting go? A healthy relationship should be a balance of effort and care. It should not be one-sided, where you are constantly proving your worth while the other person does the bare minimum. If someone only shows up when they need you but disappears when you need them, that is not love. That is convenient. Real love is present in both the easy and the difficult times. It is there when you are at your best and when you are struggling. If you find yourself feeling drained, emotionally exhausted, or more hurt than happy in a relationship, then it is time to acknowledge that it may not be a relationship worth fighting for. Love is meant to uplift, not to deplete. It is meant to bring joy, not endless confusion and pain. Letting go of love that is not returned is one of the hardest things you will ever do, but it is also one of the most necessary. The first step to moving on without suffering is acceptance. Not everyone you love will love you back, and that is not a reflection of your worth. It does not mean you are not enough. It does not mean you are unlovable. It simply means that their heart does not align with yours, and that is okay. Accepting this truth allows you to release the illusion that if you just tried harder, if you just became better, if you just waited longer, they would change their mind. The second step is to focus on yourself. When you tie your happiness and self-worth to how someone else feels about you, you hand over control of your emotions to another person. But the reality is, your value doesn't decrease because someone fails to see it. You are still whole, still worthy, still enough, even if someone chooses not to love you. Redirect your energy toward yourself, your passions, your growth, your well-being. When you do this, you shift from being someone who is waiting to be chosen to someone who chooses themselves. Finally, trust in the future. Love is not something you need to chase or beg for. The right people, the ones who see you, appreciate you, and love you for who you are, will come at the right time. They will not make you question your worth. They will not make you feel like you have to fight for a place in their life. They will choose you willingly, and when that happens, you will understand why it never worked out with anyone else. Let go with grace, walk away with dignity, and believe that the love meant for you will find its way to you. Life is a journey filled with choices, and every individual has the right to choose what they believe is best for them. It is a natural part of human experience. Sometimes those choices align with what we hope for, and sometimes they do not. When someone chooses another person over you, when they decide to walk away, it is not necessarily because you are not enough. It is simply because, in their perspective, their priorities, desires, or emotional needs led them in a different direction. This is one of the most difficult but essential truths to accept. The way people make choices is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a reflection of their own journey. Their decision to move on, to be with someone else, or to prioritize something different is about them, not about you. Too often, we take these moments personally, as if they are proof of our inadequacy, but they are not. It is their path, their journey, and their decision. And as much as it may hurt, you must learn to let go of what was never truly yours. Understanding this truth allows you to view these situations with clarity instead of pain. When someone chooses to leave, it does not mean you are lacking. It does not mean you are not worthy of love, care, or loyalty. It simply means that they made a decision that suited their needs. It is easy to fall into self-blame, to question whether you could have done something differently, to wonder if you were not good enough, smart enough, or attractive enough. But the truth is, their choice was not about you. It was about them. People will always choose based on what aligns with their desires, their growth, and their circumstances at that moment. And sometimes, that means they will not choose you. But that does not mean you are not worthy of being chosen. It does not mean you should diminish your own value just because someone else failed to see it. You are still the same person with the same strengths, the same heart, and the same ability to bring love and joy to the world. What is truly meant for you will never require you to chase, beg, or prove your worth. What is meant for you will naturally find its way into your life, and what is not meant for you will leave to make space for something better. When faced with betrayal, rejection, or loss, the most powerful thing you can do is move forward with grace. Do not fight to hold on to someone who has already made the decision to leave. Do not waste your energy trying to convince them to stay. If they have chosen a different path, let them walk it. There is no need for confrontation, no need for resentment, no need to prove anything. True strength is found in letting go without bitterness. The people who are meant to be in your life will never require you to suffer just to keep them there. Instead of dwelling on the pain, shift your focus toward building yourself. Find strength in knowing that you do not need external validation to feel complete. True happiness comes from within, from knowing who you are and embracing that fully. When you invest in yourself, when you cultivate self-love and inner peace, you reach a point where you no longer need someone else's presence to feel whole. You stop looking for completion in others and start realizing that you were always enough on your own. Most importantly, do not let loss distract you from your own journey. Every ending is also a beginning. Every loss opens a new path, and every heartbreak carries the potential for growth. When someone chooses another over you, do not let that choice define your story. Your worth is not measured by who stays or who leaves. Your journey is your own, and it is filled with infinite possibilities. Instead of mourning what was lost, focus on what lies ahead. Keep growing, keep moving forward, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The people who truly belong in your life will find their way to you, not because you begged them to stay, but because they were always meant to be there. Letting go is one of the hardest but most important lessons in life. No matter how much you try to hold on, no matter how much effort you put into keeping people by your side, those who are not meant for you will eventually leave. It is a painful reality, but it is also a necessary one. People come into your life for different reasons, some to teach you, some to support you, and some to walk alongside you for a while. But not everyone is meant to stay forever. Holding on to someone who has already chosen to leave only brings suffering. You cannot force love, loyalty, or presence. When someone decides to walk away, you must let them go with grace. Letting go doesn't mean you do not care, nor does it mean you have lost. It means you are choosing peace over resistance, acceptance over control. Trust that if something is truly meant for you, it will find its way back to you, not because you chased it, but because it was always yours. What belongs to you will stay, and what is not meant for you will leave to make space for something better. When you truly understand this, you begin to see the power in allowing things to unfold naturally. You stop trying to control what is outside your reach and start embracing the flow of life. It is a liberating feeling to no longer hold on to what is slipping away, to no longer fight for someone's presence when they no longer wish to be there. There is a kind of peace that comes with knowing that you do not have to chase anyone, that you do not have to beg for a place in someone's life. The right people, the ones who truly care, will stay on their own. They will not need to be convinced. The love and relationships that are genuine will never require force. They will remain because they are meant to. And when you stop fearing loss, you start embracing the freedom that comes with it. One of the greatest freedoms in life is the ability to live without constantly seeking validation. Imagine a life where no one knows where you are or what you are doing. Not because you are hiding, but because you no longer feel the need to announce your every move. The world does not need to approve of your choices for them to be right for you. When you let go of the need for recognition, you step into a new level of peace. You no longer live for the expectations of others, but for the quiet joy of simply being. There is a beauty in disappearing from the noise, in creating a life that is truly your own, not shaped by the opinions or judgments of others. The less you seek validation, the more you begin to understand yourself. The less you explain, the more you protect your energy. You do not owe the world an explanation for every decision you make, nor do you need to justify your journey to those who do not understand it. True peace is found when you stop looking around for approval and start looking within for clarity. When you detach yourself from the need to be seen, liked, or understood, you become untouchable. You no longer rely on anyone to give you permission to live fully. Instead, you walk your path with quiet confidence, knowing that the only validation you need is your own. Letting go of people who are not meant for you, releasing the need for external approval, and embracing the freedom of living on your own terms will lead you to a life of true fulfillment. Trust that what is meant for you will always find its way, and what is not meant for you will leave to make space for something greater. Thank you for watching today's video. Remember, every rejection isn't an end, but a stepping stone to new and promising chapters in your life. If this message resonated with you, please hit like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an inspiring story. See you in the next video, where every challenge is transformed into an opportunity for growth.